It's no secret. It's plain to see. I love you. And you love me. It's no secret. You know it's true. You love me.
Well, hello everyone.
I love
The show will be starting momentarily. We are going to take care of the fortune cookie, and once that is done, we will get this show on the road. Yes, we will. Also, if you're listening to this on replay, you don't have to listen to this part. You can just fast forward to the beginning of the show. Also, if you want to leave a comment or a emoji, you just press the react button and hit the emoji you want. If you want to send a comment along with that, just hit the emoji that you want and then put your text in and push send. Not that hard. Anyway, we will be with you momentarily.
me. And it's no secret. You know it's true. You love me. Yes, I love you.
Well, thank you, Jill, for taking that weight bot down. But you didn't let me put in our music.
Go for it.
There we go. You just
I was ready.
You Russian
I
stuff.
was ready.
Yes,
Greetings,
you were.
everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
Hey, hey,
I am.
hey.
And now what? Now what do
Well,
we do?
I want to welcome people who are in the room already.
Okay, that'll be good.
We have Tracy Lee. Hello.
Hello.
Charlie.
Hey,
And-
Charlie.
And Stefan.
And Stefan.
Hey, hey, hey.
Cool. It is good to see everyone.
Yes, it is.
On this Relationship Wednesday
That's right. That
Yes.
started at 6
at 6. So
with
you had,
Arlene and Brandon.
and what is that? Love Insights.
That's right.
Oh, that's
Tonight they were talking
cool.
about divorce.
That's when love goes bad.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's what happens with that. And then we had Stefan. Wait a minute.
And
wait
Charlie.
minute.
It was a
We had
double header.
Stefan and Charlie. And
So-
what is Stefan's show?
The conversation.
And Charlie's show is
Get it
What's
right.
on Your Heart.
That's right.
Charlie,
That's right.
what's on your heart?
So Tony, so we wanted to support both. So Tony went into Charlie's audience, and I went into Stefan's.
You weren't supposed to tell that, Jill.
Well, I wanted them to know we support them both. We both support them both.
That was a secret.
It wasn't a secret.
Probably Charlie knew.
That's right.
Charlie
He already
knew.
did.
He already
That's no secret.
Yeah.
That's no secret.
All right. So
So shall we get started with what we're talking about this
I
evening?
don't even know what we're talking about. What are we talking
We're
about?
talking about,
Oops. We're talking about me knocking down your mic.
usually
That's
that's
what we're
me
talking
doing that.
about.
We're talking about how some people have such difficulty saying three little words that have a significant meaning. And those words are, I love you.
And I love all of you in the audience also. So,
And
there.
if the audience, if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that I only recently said I love everybody.
You don't say you love everybody.
I do at the end of the show. I love you all.
I love you all. That's what you say. You don't say I love everybody.
I love you all.
but
See, it's
but
sometimes
see
hard for people to
but
say.
see I love everyone. Or for certain people, I have love for them. Sometimes
Does
there
that
is a
mean you don't
difference.
love them? So there's a difference between you loving someone and having love for them.
Yes, like
Mm-hmm.
if a person is my enemy
You have
for some
enemies?
reason, or they may view me as their enemy.
Yeah, I have a lot of foes.
And
Some I
and
know, some I don't.
but I still have love for them. I still do.
Yes, yes, I have
That's
love in
it.
my heart for everyone. And welcome Fletcher and Denise.
Oh, there's Fletcher. Fletcher has a new show on Fireside. Also,
Oh, what's
only
Fletcher's show?
I
Fletcher?
don't send a text or what the new show
Yeah,
is,
tell us what the name of your new show is.
and we will do that.
And while we're waiting for him to, well, why don't we just have him? He says, okay, he's coming to
He's
the
coming.
stage.
He's coming.
Hey,
Hi, Fletcher.
how y'all doing?
Welcome. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear y'all. Yes. I
Oh,
have
good.
I have a show on here that is one of my popular shows. It's called Let's Be Grown About It. It's the name of the show that's on here.
Okay,
Uh,
and what day and time does that come on?
I hadn't sit down and got the time or the date yet. I did an introduction to myself, for people to know who I am,
Uh huh.
type thing, but I hadn't got a date or a time yet for it. I really want a co-host uh, to be with me, and I hadn't found the right fit for me yet on
Okay.
here.
All
Yeah.
right.
And what are
Well,
you being grown about? What's the discussion about?
Jill. Oh.
I have to ask.
Well, it's basically what it is. It's a broadcast that we talk about life issues and things that's going on. We take it from a man and woman's perspective to see if we're really alike in the way that we think.
Mm,
That's the whole concept of it. So we can help each other.
okay. Are you also going to talk about men and women, or actually couples in general? It doesn't have to be men and women. LGBTQ doesn't matter, but about saying "I love you" to the other person or other people.
We're gonna hit a lot of issues. We're gonna
Okay.
hit couple issues. We're gonna hit issues that people don't normally talk about. That are taboo. I believe in church and stuff. That you want to ask your pastor, but you feel that it's kind of strange asking him. And we're gonna hit on things that we've seen our parents do that was kind of weird and out of pocket, that probably made us act weird and out of pocket. We're just going to hit on every topic that you can think about. I'm not
Okay.
very good at when it comes to politics. I'm not really into politics like that.
Hmm.
But if someone want to talk about it, I'll listen and learn. Maybe somebody in the audience at that time can speak on it. But no, you're just gonna hit
Okay.
issues.
All right. Well, cool.
Excellent.
Well, thanks for coming
Well,
to the
thank you,
stage,
Fletcher. And
and we'll be looking for your show.
yeah, when you
Yeah.
decide when it is and get your co-host, let us know
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
anytime.
Cool.
So, in our relationship, do you remember who said "I love you" first?
Absolutely.
I do too.
It was me,
It was you.
because I love you, Jill.
I love you too, and I said it immediately afterwards.
Yeah,
Aw,
but
thanks.
she just didn't want to say it until I said it,
Right,
because
but
you
that's
didn't want
that's
to expose
well, that's one
yourself,
reason
become
why.
vulnerable.
Well, that's one reason why people have such a hard time saying it. They're waiting for the other person because they don't want to. For in relationships, a lot of times someone loves or likes the other person better than that person likes them or loves
Mm-hmm.
them, right? So a lot of times people don't want to reveal that they're in love with someone or love someone until they say it, because then they don't want that sense of rejection.
But
I didn't
what?
think you were going to reject me, though.
But
I was
what
just
if?
waiting for the right
But
time.
what if both people are afraid to say it, and then it never gets said?
Oh,
What
Well,
would happen then? What
well,
would
that's
happen?
sad.
What would
Although,
happen if I was afraid in our relationship? If I was afraid to say I love you because I had previously had so many bad relationships. So now maybe I'm afraid to say it.
well, that
So
is one reason why people are afraid to say it. I can't with you, so I'm going to use real life examples. I have friends, female girlfriends, who have been in a situation where that's been the case. They were afraid to say it. The other person was afraid to say it, but they both knew. If you talk to each of them separately, they both knew the other one loved them because of their actions. So for some
so
people,
did they
actions
stay
speak louder.
together?
No,
See,
as you know,
that's
most of my friends
because
are not
that's
together
because
or
they
not in a
didn't
couple.
say those words. I love
So
you.
you believe that if you never say it, you can't remain in a relationship and not say it, a romantic
Well, I
relationship.
think the relationship will be strained because each person will be wondering, do they really love me? They kind of show me they love me, but they're not willing to say it. Do they really love me? So
Well,
that creates doubt
I'm gonna play
in both
devil's
of their
advocate a little bit.
minds.
Some people do say actions speak louder than
That's
words,
right.
and because they might think that maybe in their previous relationship, maybe they did hear "I love you" all the time, but the person would turn around and be abusive or something, where love was not the right word. Let you know what I mean?
I understand that, but that's when it's time for a discussion
Right.
with your partner. You say, hey, you know, in the past relationship, he or she said they love me all the time, and then they'd punch me in the face.
Right. And did mean it.
So that's an issue.
It
So
is
if that
a
person
huge
has it,
issue.
but if they discuss it with the person they're with now, this is why I'm
I can't.
skittish on
Right. On
saying
that
I
word.
love you.
Right. Right. And people have, love is a loaded word. It means something different to everyone, too. So some people use it sparingly, just like people in our family make fun of me because I don't curse, because I think there are better words to use.
Yes. Use
But
your words. Use your
yes,
words.
yes.
I hear that all the time.
But I don't say that to you. Why are you laughing? I don't say that. I don't know who says that to you. It's not me.
Use your words. Anyway,
Anyway,
there's so many good words.
yes. So some people may have. What's a better word than love?
Oh, that's a good question. Sex me up.
What?
That's several words.
For that reason, I'm going to
That's
turn to
several
the
words.
audience. I'm going to turn to the audience.
The
Hi,
audience
Christine.
is
Welcome.
right there.
Hi, Christine. Welcome.
Hi,
And we have
Christine. It's good to
Fletcher.
see
Hi,
you.
Stephanie.
And
Hi, Denise.
you see, check
And
this
Charlie.
out. And Charlie
And Tracy.
and guess what?
What?
I think just about every person in the audience has heard me say to them that I love them.
That's probably true. Audience,
Give
clap
it a
if you've heard
clap
Tony
if you've
tell
heard
you
me tell you. Yeah.
tell you that. Nobody. Oh,
No,
somebody.
There they go. There they go. Because I do. I love all of our audience members. I do. Earlier when we sent out, did you send that out on Instagram, our picture, pre-show picture?
Yes.
And someone commented that,
It was on Facebook that they commented.
they commented on Facebook then,
Yes.
that they grew up and in their household, nobody said, I love you
Right.
to each other.
But
So
he
he had made
also
a change.
he also but
Maybe
he
you should
said,
tell this
yes,
story
I
because
should.
I didn't read the
Because I
Facebook
read
post.
it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he grew up in a household where no one said, I love you. Yet he always knew that he was loved and that everybody loved each other. However, when he got married and had kids, he made sure that they say, I love you every day. And for him, that's been a big shift and change for the good.
That is a big deal. It was the same in my household growing up.
No one said, I love you?
We didn't say I love you to each other, no, except my mother would be like, "You're my little baby." I guess she did say I love you to me because I was the baby.
I'm sure she said it to Denise too. Your sister is in the audience.
She didn't say it to Denise.
Yes,
she
she
only
did.
said it to me
Denise.
because I was the baby. But we weren't a family that was, like that. I love you, I love you, I love you. But as an adult, I was like, this isn't right because I saw that behavior started happening in my own family with my own children. And I started realizing, well, this isn't right. I love my kids. I need to tell them that I love them. And it's a little uneasy. It's an uneasy feeling at first.
It is?
Yeah, because I'm sure it was uneasy for them and uneasy for me because we just didn't do that all the time. But I said, I have to make a change. This is the type of person I want to be. So that's where I started. And then I moved on to telling people in general. I love you. People that I meet, people on Fireside, people in other settings. I love you. Friends, I love you. And it makes me feel a lot better. But I do see it makes a lot of people very uncomfortable.
It does. They're like, okay, thanks.
But and I'm sorry that it makes them uncomfortable, but I do believe that on this planet we should love each other.
Yes.
Like we're really all human beings. We came from the same place, unless you came from a different planet. But otherwise, we've all come from the same place. Like we're all brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, sisters and cousins, long lost cousins. But we're all one. So we need to learn how to love each other. And the more we say it, and mean it. Don't just say it for points. Say it because you mean it. And like I said, I'll even say, sometimes you'll hear me say, well, I have love for them, because that might be a person that hates me just because of the way I look.
Right.
They may hate me.
Right.
But I still have love for them.
Right.
There's still hope for them.
Now that part was difficult for me because I thought, because I have love, but I grew up in a household where love was said often. Well, actually written often, because like when I was growing up, if I've always thought I express myself better on paper.
Yes, you do.
So if I when I was, a child, if I wanted something from my mother to do or to get me, I didn't ask her in person. I wrote her little notes and left it for her to find the next morning.
That sounds a little passive aggressive.
It wasn't though. It was I expressed myself.
Ask her,
but
to
I
her
expressed
face,
myself.
I'm going to write.
It wasn't passive aggressive. It's just
I'm
my
not
way of
going to
writing, my way of
say
expressing myself.
to my mother's face that I love her. I am going to write it.
Oh, I would say it to her. I would say I love you to her face. But if I wanted something, I would always end it with love, Jill. And then when she answered in a note, and she said love, Mom. So I always saw that word love around. And I think, but I
Did you ever write her a letter or a note when you weren't asking for anything?
Yes.
And just said,
Actually,
Mom, I love you?
Actually, well, it wasn't the first writing contest that I won, but one of the contests that I won when I was 12 was all about how much I love my mother. And so I wrote an essay about how much I love my mother.
That's an essay.
And it got published and it got her flowers and she was all excited.
But did you write it to your mom?
Well, I gave it to her later after I won.
You
Like, see?
see?
It was all for
You
everyone to
see.
see how much I loved my mother, not just her. So
Okay. Okay.
why are you making fun of my
I'm
essays?
not making
She was
fun.
happy.
I'm just wondering, you know, you told me that you would write her a note when you wanted something and you'd say,
Because
I
I
love
express it
you.
wasn't that I was afraid of her or passive aggressive. It was because I chose the best way I knew how to express myself and to make a case. Like today, children do PowerPoint presentations to ask their parents for something because that's what they know how to do.
Do
So it
they
was just the best way I knew how to express myself was
do
on paper.
do do children nowadays do a PowerPoint presentation to tell their parents that they love them?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Does
I
anyone
never.
in the audience know? Because I sure don't know.
Does anyone know?
I
Does
don't
anyone
know
have
at
kids
all.
that tell it? Any parents in the audience have kids who tell them they love them?
Oh, I don't. Well, I don't know. But
If you
here's
do,
somebody else we love, Dave and Sam,
hey, Dave and Sam.
on Relationship Wednesday night. Their show is next. How was your day?
That's right.
All right, cool. All right. So let me.
Well, I want to
I think
know.
we
I
should
have a
do a
question for you, though.
exercise.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So, if you didn't learn how to say "I love you" as a child, when, and how did you learn that?
Um, that's a good question.
Why,
It
thank
seems
you.
who was that was clapping because they was like, "That's a good question to ask Tony."
Dave wrote, never a presentation to say I love you, but I have sat through a presentation or two when they wanted something. See? Some people didn't outgrow it. I outgrew it.
Hmm. 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 My goodness.
So what exercise did you want to do?
I thought you just was getting ready to ask me a question.
I did ask you a question.
What was the
You
question?
didn't answer.
I was getting ready to
Okay, go
answer
for
the
it.
question. So it was, when did I start saying I love you, or who was the first person?
I didn't ask who. I said, how did you learn how to do that?
Well, I started saying it when I was, in a romantic relationship.
Okay.
That's where it started.
Okay.
But then overall, I just felt that I was not showing my true emotions when it came to my family and my loved ones. Yes, they know that I love them, but I felt that I needed to say it too, so there's no doubt. Um, Everybody sees situations differently, feels about situations differently, and over the years, I've heard that from other people that were in relationships that would say, "Yeah, I know they love me, but I need to hear it sometimes." And I felt that was correct. So yeah, so I just started doing it and it grew and grew and grew. So now I love everybody,
That's wonderful.
even racist people.
You love racist
Well,
people.
I have love for them.
I
I have love
thought you might
for
want to
them.
rephrase that. Okay.
Yes, I don't want to have hatred for someone that's confused.
Well, and it's funny that you use the word hatred because I actually don't know how to hate. I've never been taught that, and I do believe it's a learned behavior. I don't I don't know how to hate. I know how to dislike something.
Hmm.
I know how, to be upset by something or get angry about something, but not I actually have never been
Yeah,
taught that.
hate. And is Denise still in the audience? I don't have my glasses
Yes,
on,
she
so
is.
Denise is my sister.
Do you want me to invite her to the
I
stage?
love my sister. Yeah, she can come to the stage if she wants. Um, but now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, she's on the stage.
Hey, my
Oh, I
sister.
shouldn't be.
You should be.
I was
Hi,
being
Denise.
incognito, and today you all have to keep bringing me up.
Yeah, because I just wanted to say that I love you. You're my big sister, and I love you.
And
And
you know
he
I
does
love.
tell me.
See,
I
Aw.
know. I,
and I
and
And you
do.
he
know I
really
love you
does.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, I remember. I remember now. We were talking about hate. So this is why I wanted Denise to come up, not because she hates me, but growing up, if we said, my sister and my brother, if we said, "I hate you," my mother would say, "Never say hate. It's such an awful word. Don't say hate. Especially don't say you hate your brother or you hate your sister." So, Denise, do you remember that?
No, actually, I don't. But I try to instill that with my kids. They haven't said hate for one another, but just different things. I want them to be aware of they have each other, their family, their siblings. They really should have, what is it? For me, my saying is you don't want to have regrets. That's my big
Correct.
thing with my kids. And maybe I don't remember the thing with mom, but maybe that's where my, because I feel very strongly about it, that
Hmm.
my saying comes from. So that's my way of probably saying don't hate one another.
Cool. Cool. And I just want to point something out to the audience on there are me, my brother, and my sister that grew up in our household. And we all recall so many situations so differently, and we all grew up in the same house. Would you agree with that, Denise?
Yeah, most certainly.
And we lived in a two-bedroom house. We
Yeah.
saw everything differently.
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. Well,
Right.
hmm. Oh, I just found where that buzz was coming from. See how my mind works? Anyway,
Well, thank you, Denise.
thanks,
You're
my
quite
big
welcome.
sister, for coming up, and I love you.
Love you
I
too.
I
Love
love
you
you
All right.
too.
both. All right.
All
Bye.
right. So, when I was talking about an exercise, I wonder how the audience would feel about everybody just getting on stage with just audio, no video, and say,
Say I love
"I
you.
love you." That would
I
be
can send
interesting.
I can send
Send
invitations to
send
everybody.
invitations
Uh
to
oh.
everyone to come up to the stage all at the same time. So if you cheat and don't say it, we won't know it. We'll just know you're on the stage. So, but I think maybe, yeah, this would be interesting. This would be really interesting because I truly am all about love and that we should learn to love each other. And I think saying it goes a long way, even when it makes you uncomfortable, even if it makes the person uncomfortable that you're saying it to. And again, be sincere. No fake "I love yous" because that's no good. That's negative energy. So we don't want to do that. So, how many have we got so far?
We have Stefan. We have
Yay!
Charlie. We have Sam, and I don't know if Dave is with Sam, but we have Sam. We have Christine. Anybody else want to come up? Did I miss
Anyone?
anybody?
Please come. All
I
right.
think
So what do
that's
we
it.
do? Want to do a count of three?
Okay.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. I
I
love
love
you.
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 Oh, that's
Oh, that was
beautiful.
beautiful.
I like you
Wow.
too.
Oh, see,
See, that's an
somebody,
excellent point.
somebody is being hard.
No,
Who's?
that's an excellent point
I
because
like you. I like you too.
I like you too because sometimes you can like family members. You can love your family and not like them. So that's an excellent point, if you ask me, that you love and like somebody.
She didn't say she loved and liked us. She
She
said,
said, I like you too.
"Oh, let's."
Like,
who was
also.
that? Are they still on the stage? I want to continue. This.
I
who
said I liked you.
Oh, that was Stefan.
Does that mean you don't love us?
No, it's just something that my mom taught me when I was little. Because I would have girlfriends growing up and they would be like, I love you. And I'm like, yeah, I like you too.
Well, when it's a romantic type of thing, a person should not have to feel they have to say "I love you" in a romantic way. You know what I mean? There's
Do
like
you feel
platonic love, there's romantic love, there's family love, there's love for fellow human beings, there's all different types of love. So in that case, I believe Stefan's mother was correct. Just because a person in a romantic way is saying "I love you," you don't necessarily have to say it back.
But when do you ever have to necessarily say it back? Even in other relationships? Because you say it all the time. Doesn't
Well,
have
I
to be
say it all the
romantic.
time, but if it's a family member, you feel like you have to say it back. Now, like me, I want to say it back,
Right.
but some people will feel uncomfortable by saying that, and they might not say anything. It's a four-letter word that's not a cuss word. But I think it carries more weight um than cursing. But I think it actually creates more emotion when it's said. What do you think, Jill?
Well, it depends on who's saying it and what kind of relationship you are with that. You're in with
Mm-hmm.
that person. So, for example, you can just meet somebody. Like lately we've had lunch with people that we've met, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're meeting them in person for the first time. So we've been talking to them, but meeting them for the first time in person. And at the end of that lunch, you said, "I love you, I really do."
Yeah.
So are they obliged to, or do they have
If
to say "I love you" back?
No, they
No,
don't
they
have
don't.
to. No, I didn't. No, if they don't say it back, I'm fine with that. That's not a problem. But let's look at
He
this.
says that now, but secretly he cries in the bathroom because they didn't.
Yeah, that's right, Stefan. Because I know you love Jill more than you love me. So that's what happens. But no, there was one time, Jill. We went to a concert.
You and I?
Yes, and it was a concert where you sat at tables and stuff.
Oh, so it wasn't the one
I-
that you
I
fell
don't-
asleep at.
No,
Okay.
no. But at our table, we were having a discussion about the book of poetry I wrote.
Okay.
And there was one person at the table that was very
Oh.
confrontational with me.
Now I remember.
And very confrontational. If I
Yes.
said yes, he said,
said
no.
no.
If I said up, he said down. If I said right, he said
And all
left.
of this was before the concert started.
Yeah. So the concert starts, it goes on, and the performer says, "Hey, I would really love if the audience would tell your neighbor, the person at the next table, I love you." Right?
Yes.
And everyone.
And the person next to me, like, she just gave me this gigantic bear hug.
Mhm.
I was really taken aback.
Yeah. So, but when I went over to him, I said, "Hey, I'm going to tell you something. I really do love you. I don't care about our discussion before. I don't care that we disagreed, but I still love you." And it just kind of threw him.
It messed him up, really.
It really threw him
It really
because
did.
much like our show, I'm right. I do try to show that you can disagree with a person, and a person could be under your skin, but that is no reason to just hate them or dislike them. Just because of that little thing. Everybody doesn't
What if
have
it's
to
a big
agree
thing?
with you. Even when it's a big thing, that's when I'm still like, but I still have love for you. I'm still want that. Now they may want to kill me. They might want to see me dead, but I'm still going to have some love for them, no matter what.
Because that's who you are.
That is who I
I'm becoming
am,
a better person like
and
that. I'm not quite at your level, but I'm
we
becoming a better person.
we will never be able to heal this planet if we don't start doing something different.
That's right. Love should dominate, not hatred.
I remember, was it the first year of our podcast? Is that when we did the do something different? Or was it
No.
the second year?
It was like it was the
Is it
last
third
year.
year?
It was third year.
No, it wasn't the third year. It was the second year. So
No, it was third year.
anyway, see, we're disagreeing now, but it was
It was
the
definitely
second
the
year.
third year.
Yeah. Well, anyway, chill. We said we were going to stop saying anyway all the time. Also, we say that a lot. But anyway, it was the year, we deemed it the year of doing something different. So we challenged our listeners to just do something different this year, or do many things different. That's the only way you're going to get a different result. So if you want to change your life, if you're not happy with the way your life is going, do something different. Just something. A lot of times it doesn't take much. Like, for instance, if you believe your life is boring and you have no joy in your life, you don't have any fun, you don't have any relationships in your life, but yet you sit home every single day. You go to work, you come home, you go to work, you come home. You do that over and over again. How do you expect to get a different result? It's not going to happen. So you have to do something different. Maybe you take a dance class. Maybe you walk to the park. Who knows? But do something different, and something different will happen. Guaranteed.
Well,
What do
to
you
get
think,
us,
Jill?
well, I was going to get us back on topic about love.
That is about love. That's about
It's
loving
loving
yourself.
yourself.
That's
Okay,
right. You need
okay.
to do something different
Okay.
if you're not, like.
Well, my something different was, I every day, in my adult life, I've had a long to-do list, it seems. And I started putting my do something different was to not only make myself a priority on that list, but also every day I have uh, something on there where I need to do something kind for others.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What did you do kind for me today?
Give me give me a minute.
It takes a minute.
Well, I have to think.
Oh, Jill.
I have to think. It's been a
You
long
shouldn't
day.
have to think that hard.
I don't know if I've done it yet today. For you.
I'll give you something, Jill. You've
sat-
been the producer of the show this evening. That's what you did for me, because that way I
Well,
didn't
that
have
was
to
for
do it.
us, but maybe it wasn't today that I did something kind, but I have been helping you.
Yes, that's true. She does
And
help me, but
I think you misunderstood. I said for others, so it's not necessarily just you. On
I was
that
curious,
list.
but I was curious.
It
I
might be
wanted to
somebody
know.
at work. It might be just someone I came across.
Just
It might
wanted
be
to know.
okay.
That's all, and the audience wanted to know too.
I sat and talked to you. I was finished eating, but I sat and held a conversation. sat at the table and still talked to you.
That was very nice.
It
of
was
you.
nice of me because I could have gone like I'm done eating. I'm bye. See you later.
I would have had to wait, for the show to talk to
talk
you.
to
But
me.
yeah,
Yep.
oh yeah, that's
good.
That's very.
Well, I just
very
want
nice of you.
to again say hi to everybody who's here. We still have Stefan and Charlie on the stage. Charlie, I'm going to come. Charlie, I'm going to come back to you in a moment. But I also want to say hi to Deanna, Sam and Dave, Fletcher, and Tracy. And your boy Woody.
And this is Deanna, right?
Yes.
Deanna from New Orleans?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that Deanna. Now
Hi, Deanna.
See. Hi, Deanna. I have not spoken to you before. However, I have seen you in other shows.
So hi, welcome.
Hi, good to see you.
Yes. So Charlie, since you're on the stage, do you have something you want to say about love?
No, I thought it was really interesting that you guys were talking about the different sorts of love. And I just wanted to add, there's two types of romantic love. There's Eros, which is romantic love. It's like the first instance of love. Romantic love and saying, I love you and everything like that. But then there's Pragma. And Pragma is a committed love to give deeper and to build a foundation or to build a family with in love. So I just wanted to add that part in there.
That's wonderful.
Thank you very much, Charlie. But you know what?
Uh-oh.
I knew that there are many types of love and that each one has a name. Only you're smarter than me because you remember what the names are of different loves, where me, I'm just like, no, there's different types of love.
So you know what it is? The
What's
only
that?
reason why I know this is because I did a segment on last week's show Friday about the different forms of love, but it was what is the paradox of love, and I named all the loves, and I found Pragma, and I didn't know that Pragma existed. This is interesting. I didn't know that. And before I started the show, I said each word 3 times until I could say it fully without messing up. So that's the only reason why I remember the word.
And you got to use it in our show tonight.
Yes. So I'm glad I asked you to speak.
But again, none of these things are accidents.
No.
None of these things are accidents.
They're not.
Yes.
Not at all.
Yes. Earlier in Charlie's show, I got to use a word that I don't get to use that much about myself.
What word
which
was
is
that?
Hubris.
Oh, look at you.
I got to use hubris. I like that word.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Good for
So,
you.
yes, I use hubris in describing myself.
Did you?
Which may not be a good thing.
Really, he used it about every sad. So
yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, that's every Sagittarius. That ain't no big deal. Yeah, we're very confident. We're like, hey, I want to do such and such. Okay, then we do it.
That's right.
Just do it.
That's right.
So that's. I actually think that's a good thing. I'd rather do something or try to do something and maybe fail, but learn something. If I fail, I learn something, I move on to the next thing, which is good.
Well, like I said, I don't think it's a failure if you learn something.
That's right. That is very good advice. Not trying, that's the failure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Cool.
anything else you would like to ask our audience?
I don't know. Is there anything the audience specifically wants to ask me? Because I've been spouting all this stuff about love. love.
Yes. Anyone
It is the time for
either on the
love.
stage already or anyone who wants to join the stage to talk to us about love.
I would like Stefan to tell us about like. Stefan, tell us about like.
Yeah, is your definition of like love?
My definition of like is a pre-stage of love.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Huh. Now that is interesting.
I can see that.
I didn't think.
I have a
Stefan would say
cousin that he confuses love with like. And so he gets married all the time.
To cousins. That's what
No,
happens.
no, that was his father.
Well, see?
That wasn't him.
It was his father. Kentucky. Jill is from Kentucky.
Don't you talk about my state.
Jill is from Kentucky.
Don't you talk about my state.
Okay, Jill. Let's
Although most people don't believe that's where I'm from.
Let's talk about people you know.
Okay.
In Kentucky.
Family?
It doesn't have to be family.
Okay.
Do you know anyone in Kentucky that has married their cousin?
Who's still living?
Excuse me? Are they still? No, you mean are they both dead? Is that the question? Did you know of them or know them?
And they married their cousin?
Yes.
Not married. They dated, but they didn't get married.
So you know what? I'm gonna leave this line of questioning alone.
Yeah.
But you know what? That reminds me.
Because you know that's not the only place where that happens.
Actually, I have a story to tell.
Oh boy, here we go.
But I'm just gonna say, I know this guy. That's all. But this is a true story. Because I really don't want to say too much. But I know this guy. Right? And this was back when like internet dating had just started. It wasn't like everybody was internet dating then. But he was internet dating. And I kept saying, I'm old school. Why don't you just
You are, because you called it internet dating.
That's what it was called in the beginning.
It was?
Yes, it was called internet dating. It wasn't called online dating. It was called internet dating.
Okay.
So I was like, man, why you keep doing this internet dating? Why are you doing that? He's like, it's a way to meet people faster, and all that. And he was single. I said, okay. So he calls me up and he says, oh man, I met this fabulous woman. Fabulous. We've been on several dates. She's intellectual. I'm intellectual. We have so much in common. And they had been on like 3 dates. And everything was going fine. And then it turned out that they both were from the same town. They grew up in the same town. But, they maybe
Small
were...
town?
Fair-sized town. Not a big city.
Because you have to ask who's related to whom in a small town.
Yes, a fair-sized town. Okay, fair-sized town. And... he's really liking this woman. He's telling me all about her, and so. But they start talking, and who do you know in that town they both grew up in? So they start mentioning names and stuff like that. Turn out, and I don't know how this happened, but they both had the same last name in a small town, in a fairly small town.
So they were related.
Well, you're cutting the story short.
Yeah, because we got to wrap this show up.
But yeah, they came. So they start talking more, and turned out they were related because his father was a Rolling Stone. He had 2 separate families at the same time in this town, and this woman was his cousin, his first cousin.
Oh. But
here is the spot. Like, why are you taking so long to tell this story?
You are taking a long time.
The spot is, he said to me, damn, I wish I hadn't found out she was my cousin because I really liked her.
It happens though.
But he was like, they were gonna go to that next base. Well, they was getting ready to.
It's a good thing they hadn't, right?
But he wished he didn't find out till after they had a sexual encounter.
Oh my goodness! Well, when I was in in junior high and high school, and most people know that I grew up living in a national park, and like there were connecting towns, 2 towns over that made up the school district.
Okay.
And so one time when I think I was a freshman in high school, and my mother was one of the chaperones at a dance, and
Mm-hmm.
this guy went up to her and said, "I'm gonna ask your daughter out on a date," and he said it in front of he was surrounded by his friends, and she says, "Really?" And he says, "Yeah," and she says, "But she's your cousin." And so the guys were like, "Oh," and so he was mad at me, but I thought he knew. So
Apparently
he had
not.
never told me, like I like you, like because I thought he knew, like we're
See,
cousins. And then I had another cousin that from 7th grade until our senior year, and we were in the same grade.
mm-hmm.
He gave every Valentine's Day, he gave me chocolate covered cherries, which I absolutely hate. But I was always, I hate cherries, especially chocolate covered cherries. And he would give me that every Valentine's Day. And I would
Uh-huh.
say, "Thank you." And look at him like, "Why are you giving me this?"
Hmm.
And so like after like the second time, I was like, "You know we're cousins, right?" And he said, "Huh?" But I don't think he did. He kept giving them to me.
And this happened in Kentucky?
It's not the only. Your
You
story
know,
did not happen in Kentucky, now did it?
that was Georgia.
Well,
But I'm
it
not
wasn't
from
Kentucky.
Georgia. I'm from New York. And that never happened in New York. I never had a story of a friend telling me they want to date their cousin or anything like that. It never happened in New
Yeah,
York.
the relative that he dated 2 of our cousins, and he knew they were cousins, and so my
I,
grandmother, his mother, got really upset.
I wonder if any of the audience members dated their cousin.
I don't think they would tell us.
Maybe they're feeling honest. Fletcher. Fletcher.
I
Fletcher.
would like to comment.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Go ahead, Stefan.
I have never dated any of my cousins because that's gross. But I have found that some of my cousins are very attractive, though.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I wish they weren't my cousin.
that's
Okay.
understandable too. Yeah.
Wait a minute. How much did you wish they weren't your cousin?
Oh my goodness. This is why Stefan likes me better than you.
I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, I would do my research. I'm like, how are we cousins? Like, is it by marriage? Is it blood?
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
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 That you were indeed cousins.
Yeah. Well,
But if Stefan found that maybe they're not cousins, Stefan would have been on it in a hurry.
what's wrong with that?
He would have been, yeah.
Well,
That's
what's
good.
wrong with that?
That's good.
Oh, why are you saying it like it's not?
Yeah, well, you see, one minute you're thinking a person's a cousin, and then the next minute they're not, and you're like, woohoo, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Are you speaking from experience?
No, I didn't have any cousins.
That story of my friend, I feel that was a little experience.
No, I don't have that many cousins. And
You don't?
I think I only have one female cousin.
Really?
Yeah.
Like out
I
of
think
all your
so.
cousins, we're not just talking like first cousins.
Yeah,
Like all your cousins.
you can ask Denise, but I think
I don't think
I
she's
only
married.
have one female cousin.
Denise not here anymore.
And she was my first cousin, and we're not very close. So,
All of my first cousins.
oh, I'm sorry. I
Or-
had 2 first cousins that were female.
No.
Oh, okay. See, now I'm going to tell everything.
Oh boy.
So the other first cousin, and she was much older than I, but we were at a funeral. Her father had passed away. And I have one other brother that's older from my father's first marriage. And she kept, and I probably never said any more than 10 words to her in our whole lives, right? But now she's sitting next to me at the funeral and she's saying, hey, oh, your brother is looking really good. So, yeah, he's a good looking guy.
So she
Yeah.
knew he was your brother.
Oh, yeah, she
okay.
knew.
Okay.
She definitely knew.
Okay.
And she was like, you think you can hook me up? I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? No, this is for real. And then and he was married. And his wife was right next to him. Okay?
That happens to him a lot, though. It happened at a wedding,
It's
too.
his cousin.
It happened at a wedding, too.
She wasn't his cousin.
But she was still his wife is still there, and she was semi-related.
But she didn't know that was his wife. Anyway,
Okay.
that's a different story. But my first cousin wanting to hit on my oldest brother, but then after the funeral's over, everybody goes, back to, we all live in different states. She started stalking him. It's crazy. She had some issues.
That brings up a question. Do you think lust can turn into love?
I married you.
I think it's time to end this show. You have been watching I'm Right.
I'm Right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
Oh, Jill, you know that wasn't for real. I loved you first.
I don't know.
Yes, I love you. I didn't just lust after you.
I don't know now.
Yeah, I didn't just lust. I did lust.
It's like all playing in my head now.
I did
like a
lust
movie.
after you, but that wasn't it.
Well, before we end the show, we really do need to end the show with Stacy, Deanna, Charlie, Stefan, Fletcher, and Tracy. Does anyone want to say any last words about love? Before we end the show? Anybody? Nobody?
I do want to ask, and you can just do this by applause. When we asked the whole audience to say "I love you" all at the same time, which I think was wonderful, I really do. Did anyone feel uncomfortable just by a clap of hands, whether you did it or not? Oh, that's good.
That is good.
We have a loving audience.
Well, we knew that. That's not breaking news. We knew that.
Just checking. Temperature check.
I see.
Checking.
Well, it's good to do those from time to time.
All right, we're going to close the show out now.
Yes.
All right.
So you've been listening to I'm Right.
I'm Right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
Shout out to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for the music you're listening to right now. And we really, really thank you, audience. Charlie, Stacy, Deanna, Fletcher, Tracy, and Stefan. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. And we love you all.
We love you all.
Can't wait to see you again. And we're going to love you then also.
Yep. Not fading love.
Not fade. Our love is not going to fade away.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Well, thank you.
And don't forget to listen to How Was Your Day next.
How was your day? Check
with
them
Dave
out.
and Sam.
They'll keep you laughing.
That's right.
All right. Love you all.
Love you. Bye.